We got a major Juan Soto update, and the New York Mets, they were well positioned. They were in the driver's seat, but now it has turned into a two-team war between the Yankees and the Mets, so we'll break that down and much more on this episode of 3 Up, 3 Down. Welcome in, everybody, to 3 Up, 3 Down. I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, and today we're going to be talking about the more news that came out for the Juan Soto front, and I'm really excited about this because this thing is starting to heat up, and the New York Mets, the New York Yankees, those are the two teams that everybody is talking about, with some Blue Jays sprinkled in every now and then, some Los Angeles Dodgers action, and the Red Sox, too. They're a serious player in this, but it feels like a two-team race, and he's already been in New York. He's been there for a year now, and he's very familiar with that area. So I think that it's a match made in heaven for him to go back to the Yankees or to even go to the New York Mets if Steve Cohen is the highest bidder, which he said he will be. But before we get into any of that, I want to let you know that a large percentage of you watching these videos are not subscribed to the channel. Your support has been unbelievable, so don't stop it there. We're close to my goal of 1,500 subscribers, and it'd mean the world to me if you could help get me there. But let's get straight into the video. Hal Steinbrenner told you he can afford any baseball contract. He knows what's expected of him. You didn't win the World Series. Win the Juan Soto sweepstakes. The Dodgers spent $1 billion last winter, and they won. You just made more money than any other year. Spend that cash. And I'm right with Keith McPherson here. Look, I have no dog in this race in terms of the Mets and the Yankees. I'm a Blue Jays fan, so I want him to go to the Blue Jays, but I don't know if that's a realistic possibility. But Hal Steinbrenner, when asked about it, said we're in a better starting position than we were a year ago. There's no doubt about that. Look, year after year, after year after year, payroll similar to this year and the luxury taxes they produce are not sustainable, not feasible, and that's the case for the vast majority of owners and maybe all of the owners. Doesn't mean in any given year I can't do what I want to do. I mean, we've got the ability to sign any player we want to sign. So if I'm a Mets fan reading that, I'm scared, man, because Hal Steinbrenner knows that he needs to keep Juan Soto. I mean, the Yankees needed that jolt in their offense, and he was everything that they could have hoped for and more in his one season with the Yankees. So there's no reason why he shouldn't entertain overpaying for Juan Soto. They're not far away. They made it all the way to the World Series. They battled the Dodgers pretty tough in game one and ultimately fell short in 5 games. But the fact that you got to the World Series, you play in a weaker league, in the American League, there's a better opportunity for you to get back there, especially with the help of Juan Soto and maybe a couple of other minor additions. Whereas if we take a look at the Mets, that gets a little bit trickier. I know they were close as well, but a lot of their guys are free agents. Pete Alonso, they're going to lose a lot of their pitching. There's more work to be done on the Mets side of things than there is on the Yankees side of things. So the fact that they're going to have to overspend to get Soto, either team, I think favors the Mets in terms of overpaying and outbidding anybody, but it favors the Yankees in terms of not having to make any other major moves after the fact that it's made. So I think this is going to be an all-out war between the Yankees and Mets. I'm really here for it, to be honest. And Juan Soto isn't signing with the Red Sox or Blue Jays. Let's end that nonsense. It's a two-team race, as everyone expected, Mets and Yankees. Now, this is not a credible source coming out and saying this. This is just a Mets fan who is spewing this, and I tend to agree with them. I do think it is a two-team race, but we cannot discount the other teams. Let's say, I mean, the Toronto Blue Jays are owned by one of the richest corporations in North America and have some of the most money to play with in free agency, especially after missing out on Shohei Ohtani last offseason. So I wouldn't rule out the Blue Jays. I wouldn't rule out the Red Sox, who want to make a big splash and haven't done that in a very long time. But I don't know if they're going to be willing to go to the lengths that Steve Cohen is willing to go to. And I don't know if the Yankees and Hal Steinbrenner are willing to go toe-to-toe with Steve Cohen either. He's a nutcase. He wants to get this thing done, and I gotta believe that he will get it done. However, I mean, if we needed a reminder how good Juan Soto is, there are his numbers for 2024, and his career numbers are not too far off from those that he set in last season. So he's a great player. He deserves that money, and he's going to get it. He's going to get it from somebody. Will it be over $700 million like we've been hearing about the Ohtani stuff? I don't know if it could get to that exorbitant amount, but I wouldn't rule it out. And Jim Bowden of The Athletic listed the Phillies in his big five, and he doesn't have the Blue Jays in there, which is a surprise to me, but it's the Mets and the Yankees at the top, like we all expected. So this is really heating up. It has become an all-out war between these two teams, and despite no formal offers being made, at least none from credible sources that we've been hearing about, I find it hard to believe that those two teams are going to be outlasted. They want to get this done. They want to get this done. The Red Sox, the Blue Jays, the Dodgers. I mean, the Dodgers don't need him. They just won a World Series without him, and they're set to get better next season with Shohei Ohtani on the mound. So I think the Dodgers are in on him, but at a number that's more digestible. Maybe they won't be okay with spending another $700 million in back-to-back off seasons. I just don't know if that's smart financially, and of course with all the deferrals, it doesn't really matter, but still, it's a lot of bread. It's a lot of bread, and he has nowhere near the same off-field impact that Shohei Ohtani brings to the table. So I think they'll be in on him, but I don't know if they're going to be serious players. They may be more serious in the Roki Sasaki sweepstakes, which I expect them to be all in on, especially considering all the Japanese talent that they've attracted to their roster in the past couple of years. So I think that is the play for them. Go get Roki Sasaki and have just the best rotation that we've ever seen, and then go from there. So I wouldn't really consider the Dodgers a serious threat to the Mets or Yankees, but if they really wanted Soto, then it would be definitely something that is brought up in conversations and something that we need to acknowledge. But let me know in the comments down below. Do you think this is a two-team race, or are you worried about other teams sneaking in and maybe making a surprise bid for Juan Soto, something that we didn't anticipate a little bit earlier on? So yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Mets, Yankees, or anybody else. Personally, for me, I think it was the Mets all the way. I think it's going to be the Mets all the way. So don't panic, Met fans, because I think you are going to get Juan Soto, and I think that's going to be a huge jolt to your lineup, and I'm excited to see what that brings to Major League Baseball. It's going to add a little bit more parity, I think, to the National League. But that'll wrap it up for this episode of 3 Up, 3 Down. Thanks, guys, for making it this far. I'll see you all tomorrow.